You were never broken. What if I told you that the moment you feel most lost is actually the moment you are closest to finding yourself? Think about that for a second. Because right now, somewhere out there, someone is sitting alone in a quiet room. The lights are low. The world outside is moving fast, people laughing, succeeding, building their lives, and yet this person is completely still. Not because they are lazy. Not because they don't care. But because they are exhausted in a way that sleep cannot fix. Tired in a way that no one around them fully understands. And somewhere deep in their chest, a small, painful voice keeps whispering the same cruel words over and over again. Maybe I'm just not enough. And maybe that person is you. Maybe you've been carrying something heavy for a very long time. Something you never asked for. A wound from your past. A dream that didn't work out. A relationship that left you hollow. A version of yourself you've been trying to fix for years. And no matter how hard you try, no matter how many mornings you wake up and promise yourself today will be different, the weight is still there. Sitting on your chest. Quiet. Heavy. Stubborn. So you did what the world told you to do. You hustled. You chased. You pushed yourself harder than anyone around you even realized. You chased money, thinking it would bring you peace. You chased perfection, thinking it would make you feel worthy. You chased love, thinking someone else could fill the emptiness inside. You smiled when you were breaking. You said I'm fine when you were anything but. You wore your strength like armor, because somewhere along the way, you learned that falling apart was not allowed. But here is what no one told you. That armor? It was also a prison. Every time you pretended to be okay, you drifted a little further from yourself. Every time you silenced your pain to make others comfortable, you buried a piece of who you truly are. And slowly, quietly, without even noticing, you forgot something. Something so simple, so true, so important that it changes everything once you hear it. You were never broken. Not once. Not ever. See, the world has a way of making us believe that pain means something is wrong with us. That struggle is a sign of weakness. That if your life isn't working the way you planned, then you must be the problem. But that is one of the greatest lies ever told. Because the truth, the real, deep, beautiful truth, is that there is a part of you that has never been touched by any of it. Not by the failures. Not by the heartbreaks. Not by the disappointments or the shame or the fear. There is a version of you that existed long before the world started telling you who to be. Before someone made you feel small. Before the rejections and the losses and the late nights spent wondering if you would ever be enough. That version of you is still there. Quiet. Patient. Waiting. It is the part of you that watches your thoughts without becoming them. The part that feels the storm but is not the storm. The part that has been sitting beneath all the noise this entire time, steady and whole and free. And that part of you has never left. This is the turning point. This is where the story changes. Because healing doesn't begin when the pain goes away. Healing begins the moment you stop believing that the pain defines you. The moment you look at everything you've been through, every scar, every failure, every tear you cried alone at night, and instead of seeing evidence that you are broken, you see evidence that you are still here. Still standing. Still trying. Still breathing. That is not weakness. That is one of the most extraordinary things a human being can do. You don't need to have it all figured out. You don't need to rush your healing or pretend you're further along than you are. You don't need to perform your recovery for anyone. You are allowed to be exactly where you are right now, messy, uncertain, tired, and still be worthy. Still be enough. Still be loved. Because here is what I want you to carry with you from this moment forward. You were never meant to just survive this life. You were meant to feel it. Fully. Deeply. All of it, the joy and the grief, the laughter and the tears, the beauty and the mess. You were meant to live in a way that is honest and real, not numbed by fear, not trapped in the past, not frozen by the question of what if. You were meant to come home to yourself. And home is not a place you find out there in the world. Home is what happens when you finally stop running from who you are. When you sit down in the middle of your own story, not at the end, not when everything is perfect, but right now, in this exact moment, and you say quietly to yourself, I am not my pain. I am not my past. I am not my mistakes. I am still becoming. And that is enough. So if no one has told you this lately, let me be the one to say it. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are not too far gone. You are a soul in the middle of transformation. And the fact that you are still here, still searching, still trying to find your way back to yourself, that is not a sign of failure. That is the bravest thing in the world. Keep going. You are closer than you think.